missing out. You guys should really check out this new one. It's called Keep It 99.
Keep It 99.
It is Keep It 99, and don't forget tomorrow it is the Grizzlies versus Steph Curry. I mean, Ja Morant versus Steph Curry. Game 5. I don't know why he was at the game last night. We do not know, but for some reason Ja Morant be forgetting he got a game tomorrow. As he said,
very irresponsible. Very irresponsible of Ja Morant.
He told us that it's gonna be him and Steph Curry for the next 7 years. So we got Game 5 tomorrow.
That's a valid. This is a very real series.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, bro. He said it, so we gotta.
It's fair.
You know what I'm saying? He said it. And then I also want to give a shout out to a Hall of Famer. It's his anniversary yesterday. It is Doc Rivers, 23 years ago, the first ever 3-1 loss comeback. By the way, Orlando versus Detroit. 3-1 comeback. First time at 1 seed versus 8 seed. Orlando, Detroit. Shout out to Doc Rivers.
Actually, it might happen again.
Hall of Fame.
It might happen again.
23 years ago yesterday.
Rent free.
23 years ago yesterday. Shout out to Doc Rivers. Same series, same 1-8. Except for this time, the Magic, the one that's up.
Rent free.
Shout out to that. Now, Monroe, you have something to say.
I don't, but you want to use and exploit me, so be it.
I gotta hear it. They gotta hear it.
I don't generally mind. He wants to exploit me, but I will say for what I was disgusted by over this past weekend. Shout out to the Hollywood fans for the great one as well. So this past weekend, as we know, the Rockets are down 3-1, and how the media tends to do, they tend to jump on the bandwagon of stories, even if they're not fully true, or even if they just put forth narratives that really are not valid. So coming across the timeline, you see media stories trying to blame Kevin Durant for the reason the Rockets being down 3-1. And at first I was like, okay, just people want to jump in. But they were literally going as far to say that Kevin Durant, some of them even saying Kevin Durant was the problem in the Rockets. And I just it boggled my mind that we're really just going that far to call Kevin Durant the problem with the Rockets and why they're down 3-1. Kevin Durant only played one game in the series. Wasn't fully healthy in that game. Got injured again in that game. So it boggled my mind. People wanted to blame him why he's the reason that they're losing. We've done, people and teams and media members do this kind of thing before. They just jump on that bandwagon because it's easy to talk about Kevin Durant because he's the villain in a lot of the stories. He's the one that when quote unquote bandwagons to team after team after team, trying to get better and all that kind of stuff. He's the biggest villain. We get the story, all that. But it comes to a point where we have to look at it and be like, why is the narrative wanting to blame him for something that was 90% out of his control? They looking like, oh, well, the Rockets, the turnovers and this and that. The Rockets don't have a point guard. The management of the Rockets didn't seek to get a point guard throughout the entirety of the year, even though it was clear that they needed a point guard. It was clear that there were point guards on the market. They said, no, we don't need to do that. We just get Kevin Durant in that spot. So fine with him. It's also not his fault that the offense can't seem to make their own offense when he's not on the floor because none of the other members of the Rockets seem to be shot creators. So, but they're going to blame him like apparently the offense falling off a ledge is his fault too. So that was another one. Then we go as far as, okay, isn't coaching the thing? Isn't Ime Udoka a coach that made it to the NBA Finals with Boston and, got the Rockets looking in top 4 seeding back-to-back years? Ain't he the same person that was like, oh, well, we don't need no point guard. I'm going to go and coach these teams out here for 3 of the 4 games and Kevin Durant ain't out there. Ain't he the coach? Ain't he the one that, we be looking at, oh, well, coaching is a part of this, but he's getting out-coached by JJ Redick, a former player on the Lakers. He's literally getting out-coached. They're letting LeBron and a bunch of second and third tier players outplay them. Luke Kennard is out here looking like a first team all-NBA player scoring 30 points on your team that's supposed to be known for defense. We got Marcus Smart averaging 20. Marcus Smart barely averaged 20 on years when he was on Boston. You got him looking like an offensive, and nothing against Marcus Smart. He's known for defense. What are we talking about?
I think that sounds like there's something against Marcus Smart there, but go ahead.
No, it's just real. Marcus Smart is known for defense. He's not known for offense. He's not known to be a 20, 25 point game scorer, especially not at this point in his career. Why are we blaming Kevin Durant? Like it's Kevin Durant's fault. He don't coach the team. He don't make executive decisions on the roster. He can't make Alperen Sengun play defense at times. He can't make Kyle Easton, be dependable at times out there. He can't make Amin Thompson learn how to be a consecutive offensive threat. That's not his job. But the problem is that the media is like, oh, Kevin Durant's the problem, and Kevin Durant's just gonna go to another team. I said it. If he went to another team, I wouldn't blame him. Want to know why I wouldn't blame him? Because if you come to this team to perform a role, and the organization sets you up for failure, why would I stay? Now, like I said, now he's not blameless in this. No, like you messed up the chemistry of your team by having burner accounts and talking crap on them and everything. Except in like 2 or 3 of these games, they dang near showed him to be right. But you ain't gonna get into that point. Just well, yeah, he messed up some of the chemistry, but also why I'm gonna look at it like it's his fault they down. It's like so many other slices of pie before I get to Kevin Durant as to why the Rockets have fallen short 2 years in a row. 2 years in a row, mind you. But ain't nobody saying, oh man, Ime Udoka should be on the hot seat next year. Nobody's saying that part, even though he done had 2 top 4 Rocket squads that's going to get bounced in the first round against teams that he should beat. The Warriors team last year, wasn't nobody thinking they were world beaters last year. Weren't the Rockets favored? What happened? Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler bounced them out. This year, they favored. They still supposed to be favored with or without Kevin Durant. What happened? They doing boneheaded fouls and boneheaded turnovers at the end of game 3. And it's like, oh, what are you doing? Like, no, I'm not that on him. So this narrative of Kevin Durant's the problem is something that should end automatically right now because he ain't the reason they down 3-1. He ain't the reason they probably going to lose the series. And he ain't the reason they didn't get a point guard or the offense ain't this, that, and this other. It's not his fault. So that's the rant for this. It goes the same thing to Jokic because people are also jumping on this Jokic bandwagon of like, dang, Jokic is down 3-1 to this Timberwolves team. Maybe Jokic ain't as great as we thought it was. And it blows my mind that people just want to blame superstars on team games. Like, Jokic ain't playing good defense. Whatever. Jokic ain't never been a good defender. He ain't been a good defender most of his career. Like, what? That ain't different. But the problem is, Jokic ain't even playing defense on the people that's getting loose on the Timberwolves. Jokic don't guard. Why is Ayo Dosunmu going off for 40? It ain't Jokic's fault. It's the freaking backcourt you got back there. Ain't Christian Braun signed for over $100 million? Ain't Jamal Murray got a top contract too? What am I missing? Like, where's the rest of the team? Because it used to be on the teams that Nuggets was on that everybody else had solid enough defense so that Jokic's defensive deficiencies weren't shown as bad. Now we look at it. Why I got backup people giving 40 on them? Like, Ant ain't been good this whole series. They still down 3-1. How is this Jokic's fault to that extent? Can Jokic do better offensively against Rudy Gobert? Yeah. I ain't acknowledging that. Jokic ain't the sole reason they giving up 115 points on average to a Timberwolves team that ain't even got a star player. I don't understand this notion of people being like, no, the same Jokic has always been there. The one that's had trouble on defense, the one that's been a great offensive threat, and the one that can't back down Rudy Gobert right now. But this has not changed. Also, we knew this matchup was horrid for the Nuggets anyway because they had multiple 6- and 7-footers they're going to throw at Jokic again. But when I look at Christian Braun, I look at Aaron Gordon, even though he's injured, but his injury is a concern because that's happened multiple years at this point. I look at Jamal Murray. I mean, I got to look at the rest of the squad, and I'm like, what else is going on here? This is not the same squad that fired Mike Malone. Mike Malone got fired last year. Suppose it was his fault, right? Didn't that team play better defense under Mike Malone? It played better defensively, didn't it? But no, apparently no. We ain't gonna look at the first year head coach like it ain't his fault, right? I'm like the amount of blame the superstar for the easy story don't make no sense to me after a certain point. Because now we're making up narratives that just don't exist like this. That's what I don't get. I'm done, but I'm just lost on some of those narratives. Like, I get we want to trend and be on the story and follow the leader when it comes to storylines and narratives and the NBA or whatever. But at some point, we got to call a spade and be like, look, it ain't their fault for everything. Not even for most of it. But, oh my. Okay.
Thank you for the clips.
Yeah.
Any rebuttals?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me get on you real quick because yes, two things can be true, sir. First and foremost, I, as a KD candidate for you, should be able to play point guard. You know what? You're starting to look kind of right, Monray. I think that he is supposed to have so much experience in basketball as the game and him to be considered so great that yes, 100%, he should be able to adjust to the game and know how the game is played. Don't tell me he's athletically not good enough to do those things. I don't believe that. I still don't. I almost said, Monray, you're right. Huh?
Point guard is more than just being athletic, sir.
Oh, no. Come on, trust me, I know, because I never said that KD is athletic. I never said that. Come on, you got to walk. Can you walk with me for a second? Walk with me for a second, Monray. What I'm trying to say to you is this man knows basketball. You do not have to be the most athletic player on the floor, nor the tallest or nor the strongest, because that's not how point guard typically works. But when you do have those abilities, and I've never said KD is just super duper athletic. I never said that. What I'm saying is his knowledge of the game, given his physical skill set that he does have, and most importantly, again, let's take it back to Pokemon. The experience points that he has, he should be a level 88. A level 88 role playing. Go ahead.
What does Kevin Durant's skill set allow him to be best at?
It allows for him to create his own shots from a jumper's perspective, yes.
So that means he's best as a scorer.
I can say that he can get his own shot as a mid-range player. I think that is a great asset that he has.
Isn't that directly opposite from the job of a point guard?
No, it is not. Your job is to create for others.
No, you just said he can create his own shot, which is directly opposite of a point guard, which their job is to create for other people.
No,
Fred VanVleet also told Kevin Durant, by the way, he said, bro, that you can't just have a bunch of scoring. Like, yeah, you can. He like, no, you need somebody to get the people that can't get open. And Durant like, I ain't never had that problem. Like, yes, you play with James Harden and Westbrook, and then you play with Steph Curry and Clay. Yes, you didn't need it in your career, but now you on Houston and they need somebody to help them score, sir.
And that's the only point that I'm getting at is that at this point, it's not about sniper. It's not about that easy money sniper. It's not about that. It's about the fact that they respect you as easy money sniper. And so that means you need to create for the other people and be a quote unquote point. I don't want to call you a point guard because then we'll be arguing. I'm just saying you're supposed to be a basketball player in this situation. That's what I'm saying. If I'm scoring the most, we all play 2K. I'm going to take it to 2K to the most base basketball knowledge that you need. Once you put up 18 in the first quarter of NBA 2K, what do? What's the computer do? It should take too long for you to answer. They double you, correct?
Yep.
Get it to the open guy based off of what you know about the actions that are supposed to happen while you are being double teamed at wherever they decide that your sweet spot is at. Typically the left-hand side of the elbow, on the left-hand side of the field, of the court. Find that person. There's somebody that should be cutting. There should be, if that happens. You should know that based off of 18 years in the league. Am I saying, is that correct?
Yeah.
So with that being said,
you know the problem with that analogy?
Is he in the conversation for best basketball player ever? Is he?
No, not even close.
Is he not? Or he's just in there as just best scorer?
No,
you could have an argument for best scorer. That's not it.
Okay.
What you guys say?
Go for it.
I got a question. All right, so I get both. You know what I mean? I get what Monray's saying. I get what I get what Unico saying. But my question is this: in Kevin Durant's career, right? Has he been known for any type of passing ability? He get assists, but
no.
You know what I mean? Does he have
never said he was a playmaker ever.
Wemby has to get more assists than KD did.
And my thing is this: in theory, what you should do if you're a great basketball player, you should step up and add multiple facets to your game. But also when you're in year 18, if you wasn't already doing that before, it's kind of hard for you to add that to your bag this late into your career. You know what I mean? And also, if that's not what you're asked to do, you know what I mean? Because his skill set is to put the ball in the basket. So, you know what I mean? If the coach not game planning for him to actually be a facilitator, then we can't blame him for not being a facilitator.
So I'm gonna say this then. This is where I can see my point too. Then I'll say that Kevin Durant is not a great basketball player.
That's crazy.
That's not true because there are multiple. There's multiple
all around. Is he like all around? No.
There's multiple positions in basketball.
No, no, hold on. Don't do it like that. Don't say it like I'm saying he's not a great basketball player. Hold on. Let me say this. Then go in. I wasn't saying it like that. I know that he's an all-time great. I'm saying, and Hooper's gonna know what I'm saying when I say this. He's not a great basketball player because a great basketball player adapts to the basketball game. That's what I'm saying. Go on.
But he can only adapt so much to something that's not in his skill set. That's like, and I use this as an example. If
are you saying he's not smart enough to understand that a certain action will get somebody else open to score?
I also understand that he may not be able to do that.
Question. That was just a question.
No, I'm not saying he's not smart enough. He might be smart enough, but there's a difference between having the knowledge and the ability to do something. He may have the knowledge to a certain degree. He ain't got the ability. Like he's not. Like what you say, he's a great scorer.
Pass the ball. He cannot physically read a defense.
I'm asking you a question. No, because that's not how you read
defense and know the best, the most optimal point to score.
No, because he's a scorer.
He does not have that ability.
Okay. No, he may not have that ability because he's gonna read the defense as a scorer versus reading the defense as a point guard. If point guard's gonna read defense with the first clear mindset of how can I maneuver this to get such and such open and make other shots. He as a scorer might read the defense as what's the best way for me to get open and get my shot. Those are two different ways to read the defense. He may not have the ability to read it like a point guard to the extent that you would want him to.
Or a basketball player that you would want them to.
All basketball players can't do that. Most can't do that. That's why positions exist. That's like me saying, this was an example I'm going to do earlier. That's like me saying, and Grandpa, you'll exist. If Tyrese Maxey got injured during this playoff run, and they told Paul George, we want you to run the offense and be the point guard. Paul George is not known for running the offense and being the point guard. Therefore, if he don't do a good job at it, why would I blame him when that's not in his skill set or natural for him to do? Or matter of fact, I'll even go further. If they say, hey, Joel Embiid, and Kevin Durant. I'll even go further. If they said, hey, Joel Embiid, we want you to run the offense because Max, it's just not in Joel Embiid's ability or possibly skill set or mindset to run the offense like a point guard because he's not a point guard. He's a center. He runs and thinks and reads the defenses that operates like a center. Position still exists for a reason, especially when they play in the position for 8+ years. I ain't gonna play like 10, 12. And Kevin Durant played a position, mostly a role, for 18 years. For me to be like, hey, go be a point guard now, bro. I've been a scorer for 18 years. I'm not good at running the point guard. Do your best. Okay, he does his best. It's not that good. What for?
And
so again, I'm not asking
it's easier for certain players to do it than others, especially like Murray said, he never had to do it. That's why when I heard him on the Fred VanVleet podcast say, "Oh, I don't need a point guard, I just need people that can shoot." I was like, "Oh, his whole life he been a little charmed because he always had people that do it. He always had Kerry, he always had Harden, he always had Kyrie, he always had Kerry, he always had Draymond. So everybody else always did it. So he never got the mindset. All I gotta do is get buckets. Whereas to my report, Paul George sometimes ran point. Even Wemby sometimes, that's just called Wemby chooses to. He'll run the offense because he just chooses to because he tries to do everything on earth. And I need him to stop because he start flopping around and hitting his head on shit, trying to be a point guard. And I need him to stop this. But he want to do all that shit because he obsessed with just trying to be the greatest ever. Durant is like, hey, I scored. That's what I do. I give you an example that's perfect. Melo. Melo could not play point guard. Durant could not play point guard. Tracy McGrady could not play point guard. Paul George, I can say he can play point guard a little bit because that's his style. He can play point forward. But Melo, Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter, they was like, oh, my job has always been to get buckets, and that's what I do. So asking me not to get buckets is gonna be awkward at times.
Right.
Like, Jokic can do it because Jokic does it. That's his job is his team because they really don't have a point guard on in Denver because Jamal Murray really a scorer.
Shout out to Chauncey Billups. But yeah, I mean, where I'm at is like at some point, don't we play the game of basketball? Nobody grows up and says, I'm gonna be a great center like Shaq. You want to be a great basketball player. And I feel like these guys have been around the game long enough to know how to transition to play like if you are the focal point. That's what I'm saying. These guys have been.
I got a question. I got a question before Murray go. Have Kevin Durant ever been just double teamed? Just consistent in his career?
I can't think of that. I can't think of the time that they.
It's always Russell Westbrook. It's always Steph Curry. It's always Kyrie. He's never been double teamed in his career. It's the first year he's actively been double teamed. Year 18. Think about how different it is in your life when you're out of your whole life. The first time you ever get double teamed is 18 years in.
But you know basketball, you know the actions. I'm saying I'm attacking him as a basketball player. I'm not talking about his position or him as a scorer. I'm talking about him as a basketball player because I feel like that's how we all started basketball, was being a basketball player.
And you find out what you're good at and what you're not good at as a basketball player. We all find that out too. And eventually it goes to the point I ain't finna try to do something I'm not good at. But this is my example I'm bringing in. Everybody work at Sonic. Cool. Some people make drinks, some people make burgers. Yet the people that make drinks, I done seen you make burgers. That don't mean I'm good at making burgers. So if they're like, hey, Monte, you make drinks all the time, go make burgers for this shift. I'm gonna suck at making burgers. Why? Because it's not my job. That ain't something I've been used to doing the whole time. Even though I done seen them make burgers for 2 years. I ain't good at making burgers because they ain't thing I turned in, they ain't thing I'm good at, they ain't thing I'm used to doing. So if I go back there and I fuck up 30 burgers while I'm over there trying to make them motherfuckers for the first time or for the first few times, I'm gonna get fussed out at when they knew from the fact I ain't good at making burgers.
I'm getting you up out of here. I'm getting you up out of here because you can't play. We
all work at Sonic, don't we?
You can't.
You should be good at making burgers, though, shouldn't you?
You should be able to do everything because we all work.
You should be good at making burgers, all right?
We work for Sonic. We work for Sonic.
You should be good at making burgers, right?
We work for Sonic.
I was gonna say, I think in Houston's case for Kevin Durant, it would be probably a little bit easier to transition into, I guess, like a little point forward situation if your team was offensively equipped for that type of skill set. Like, I mean, Houston's problem is nobody else can score the basketball besides Kevin Durant. So it don't matter if I'm
but he's stupid.
Putting you in
not
positions.
No, they can't.
I mean, it don't matter if I'm putting you in positions to score the ball if you can't put it in the basket consistently. Like, I can get you open all I want, but if you can't make the fucking shot, it don't matter. Like, I mean, I think that's Houston's problem. Them niggas just can't shoot. I mean,
can I ask you this? Let me ask you
this.
And
a point guard job is really to set up where people are good at. And that's even more than just like, oh, we just play back. Like, if I'm Jason Kidd, I know Kenyon Martin like to come off the left side, so I'm going to dribble to my right, set him up, and get it to him. That's a way different mindset than, I'm going to score and get open, which, like I said, if he just had a team that can shoot, it'd be a lot easier. But
so the question I would ask is, so was Van Fleet's job just supposed to be get it to Kevin Durant after half court?
No, his job is to put Seguin on that right.
I'm saying y'all saying that's what's his job then, because he's going to have the same tools, except it's
pass it to Durant. That's how you get your assist. Pass it to Durant.
Van Vliet's job would be get Durant open on his left side. It would be able to open up a lane for Şengün to be able to dominate down low. It would be get Jamar Smith open for a three, and it would be to get Amin Thompson for an easy mid-range. It will be all those things because he knows those pluses and minuses of all those people, and he knows his job is to get them in the best position to be open. That is his job.
And to be fair to that point, getting Durant open into his spot makes it easier for everybody else than Durant forcing it to get everybody else open. So that's also a thing you gotta think about. So
I'm just failing to grasp that concept of, but that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
And
by the way, I do want to say this to the Jokic point. If you gotta,
are we going there? Because that's
I said the playoffs.
I'm the opposite of that.
before this playoffs, I said this playoffs gonna show whether he can get in that top 3 of all time.
Top 3 centers.
Yep, and I'm like,
right now, it ain't looking.
He's not in. Because if Murray's point is correct,
that's not his fault though.
If Murray's point is correct, they have to get people to hide you. I don't know how you get into the top 3 centers of all time.
Right now, he's not. Right now, he's probably.
If I have to find players to hide your weaknesses because you are so deficient at something.
Jokic's definitely top 5 or top 3.
No, I think like 5 or 6 right now. It's fair. 4 through 6.
This is for the Jokic thing, what Monray was saying, and also with the Kevin Durant thing. You know what I mean? Blaming them for the team struggles, which is ridiculous because the word I just used was team. You know what I mean? There's other niggas on the court contributing to the wins and loss. But we also know in sports, when your name is bigger than everybody else's name on the back of the jerseys, you know what I mean? You're going to get everything. Most of the credit, most of the blame. You know what I mean? That's just how it is. No matter how dumb the blame may be, you know what I mean? The narrative always going to be shifted towards who is the best player on that team. You are supposed to be the one that's supposed to do everything, regardless. Regardless if you playing with 3 niggas from the corner store, you supposed to carry them corner store niggas over the top. You know what I mean? That's just how.
Take them to Target.
You mean that's just how the narrative is skewed towards the top player. But like it's dumb as hell. Like I agree, it's stupid.
I want to know,
but
you want to know to your point why I think about that? Aaron Gordon don't get enough credit when he's healthy. That team looks vastly different when he healthy.
They do.
The defense looks
they look so different when he out there. But
man,
he not going to get that credit.
He don't get enough credit. But he got to get that calf right because every playoff he can have calf problem, bro.
Only people like us that like watch the game, the fans that actually watch it, would give Aaron Gordon that type of credit. Media members and shit like that, they're not going to do that because that's not sexy to write about. We don't, we want to write about Jokic. You know what I mean? Fuck Aaron Gordon.
That boy, they Swiss Army knife.
I even give him credit. The game everybody was talking about when Denver played San Antonio, in the 4th quarter, Aaron Gordon was holding Wemby.
That boy is a Swiss Army knife for a reason, boy. I tell you.
That's what I'm saying. He was going Wemby. The shot he missed, Aaron Gordon played amazing defense, made him go to his left side and made him take a fadeaway. Because Wemby that's really one of Wemby's weaknesses in terms
great
because
basketball play, by the way.
But that's not one of his
basketball IQ.
Yeah, but Aaron Gordon did that. They didn't put Jokic on him, but nobody gonna give Aaron Gordon the credit for that play. They're gonna be like, "Hey, Jokic went off on Wemby." They even stopped Wemby. He said, "They don't say Aaron Gordon."
Man. Basketball it's always been the unsung heroes, dog. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's all about the narratives.
It's always been the John Paxsons, the Steve Kerrs hitting them shots and shit. You know what I mean? But
shout out to Robert Horry, by the way. He hit a game winning
Robert Horry
championships.
You know what I mean? The Robert Horrys that hit the shot. But we celebrate the Kobe's and
big shot Bob.
You know what I mean?
Even in the Spurs when he was 45 years old, he hit a game winner and ain't played the whole season.
I watched the John Stockton clip today, and I was like, I would put a 40 on this nigga today. I swear to God, I did. I said that in my mind. I said I would eat him. Pause. And
till he get them bullshit assist on you.
But here, he gonna get that assist because he gonna have to pass it. Like that dude's ass athletically. I feel like I'm sorry. I just feel like I could take him. But to the Joker narrative,
drop your
no, he ain't gonna drop nothing off over here. I'm looking at the man. I'm watching him.
Michael Beasley Jim right now.
I would like to
say this is not out the mud, by the way. This is real. Like, dude, Stockton, I'll take in my prime. I'll take Stockton easy. He's nothing.
The other thing I'll say about that is Stockton is also the highest leader for steals too. For that very reason that people thought that same thing. They thought, I can take them too. Got their pockets picked repeatedly for that same reason.
I don't see it.
They didn't either.
So my Joker narrative is this. I think this series is a Shaq kind of series. Like if you're gonna put up 21 shots, you can't be 7 for 21. You gotta be Shaq dominant. Like that's where I'm like, that's why Shaq will be better. In this series, Shaq is shooting what would he be? 17 for 21?
Well, see, the thing I will give props. Now, I'm not gonna say that because the thing I will give props to is Rudy Gobert is doing a heck of a job defending Joker, unlike the other 2 years. So I'm not gonna outright say Shaq would do that when Rudy Gobert is 7'1" and ain't got to do nothing on the offensive end. So he literally spending 48 minutes of straight energy.
He ain't get 48 minutes because Gobert is fouled out, sir. That's it.
I don't know, Rudy against prime
Gobert. I'm just saying, hey, get to this next series so you can get this work.
I would like to see that because Gobert is going to actually have to guard on the perimeter. But
no, I'm just saying Jokic ain't took him to the perimeter. His 3-point shot ain't been falling either. So everything he's taking other than the last game has been inside. His 3-point shot ain't been falling this series.
For like 28 right from 3.
Yeah, his 3-point shot has been horrible this series. Like he just ain't
one before the
Shaq not shooting that.
That's the problem.
Shaq is in there and he's on Gobert.
Let's go through a few lists before we figure out what Jokic did, because I kind of want to see where everybody is. He Shaq? We know he's saying he's not better than Shaq. We're not saying he's not better than Kareem, right?
If he's there.
Kareem? No,
he's not above Kareem.
Hakeem?
No,
he's not above Hakeem.
David Robinson?
No,
I scored 50 points a game.
No.
What chamber? People forget that. By the way, people forget David Robinson was averaging like 40 for most of his career. That man used to dominate.
That was
thing about it. Like once I get to David Robinson, I can at least think about it. I can at least think about it when it said David Robinson. That's the problem. I said between 4 and 6.
Oh, that's what
I can at least think about it, but I'm gonna say
3, and now we saying no. So that's kind of what we get now.
Think about
I'm gonna say no right now for David Robinson. I'm gonna say no.
Because David Robinson came in a time where he didn't have to be a facilitator like Joker is being, right? So it's different. We don't know what he could do. Just like, what I'm saying, Shaq is probably one trick pony, straight to the basket, doing your work in the paint. Whereas you got Joker that can hurt you in different ways. But that 7 for 21 hurts me because I know that Shaq is not going to be 7 for 21. David Robinson is going to have a high field goal percentage, but he doesn't really pass the ball.
By the way, David Robinson averaged like 7.
He's like a running back for the NFL. Back in the day, you needed the running back, but now you don't. Does that make sense?
But we're gonna get to it in a minute.
I'm just saying, but does that make sense? Yeah. Like there was a different need for the center to do.
But David Robinson, but that was an era of centers. Jokic ain't really in the era of centers. It's only like Gobert and Wemby, because Embiid knees gone, so we don't count him.
Yeah.
So he's technically he only got to go against 2 centers, really. Wemby and there is no other center in the league, really.
I don't think they should put Joker in that conversation with those centers back then. Joker should be in a basketball player.
But like I said, the difference, I give Joker credit for this. He always say the players now, the guards are way more athletic. The centers aren't nowhere near as physical. It was a center league back then with David Robinson. It was the Dikembe, David Robinson. It was nothing but centers that's gonna bang.
Larry Johnson I just saw old footage of him in an empty high school gym. It seemed like at the Hornets. That dude's shoulders was big as hell. Like he was,
you know what I'm saying? So Jokic don't really got to bang as much outside of Gobert because Wemby not really a banger, but then Wemby's size might bang. So it's only the 2 series he got to worry about in terms of size.
If I had to do something different, I would just say that like Joker and Embiid should start a new conversation of centers. That's what I kind of think. Is there another? And then
more like guard like center. So Wemby kind of starting.
And then Wemby, yeah. I think we should start a different conversation.
Like, don't forget Manute Bowles was back in the day. He was 7'7" blocking.
Who was?
Manute Bowles.
Oh, Manute, yeah, and Yao Ming.
You know what I'm saying? They were huge back then. Now, all the centers are technically guards, and we only play a bunch of 6'9", 6'10" players who just quick.
Yeah, because does Yao Ming belong in that Embiid Joker conversation at that point? Or is he still in there with Shaq?
Though, so I think he's around that era.
He's still with Shaq?
Yeah.
Okay.
Monroe's back.
Absolutely, y'all don't belong in there.
No, I mean, we asked. No, hold on. I was asking.
Are we talking about eras? Not
makes more sense for you.
All time.
Yeah, the era. Yeah,
because it was Dikembe, Manute Bowles, Shaq.
Yeah,
but him moving outside of the paint.
Late Robinson.
Yeah, it's like that was the era of centers. Now it's more era of forwards. More so than even guards. I think it's more forwards now because you got Luka, plays point guard, but he's really a forward. Castle and them is really a forward because they all 6'7".
Yeah,
they playing point guard now. It basically started with Paul George and LeBron. Big 6'8",
I can agree with that because Gerald Wallace was supposed to be the next one, and going forward.
So it basically started with them playing point guard.
Don't laugh.
It kind of went away from the Kevin Durant style too over time.
Gerald Wallace was a good idea.
A lot of people have big thoughts.
He was an early adapter of this, so it kind of got weird. Then, like I said, you get a if Castle was in 1998, he would be a small forward right now. He's literally the size of Scottie Pippen.
Scottie Pippen is a 2 guard.
Dylan Harper is like the size of Scottie Pippen. They both like 6'7" with long arms. That's Scottie Pippen.
Scottie Pippen will be a 2 guard.
That's the era we in now. Like, you don't really see many point guards. You don't see many centers. It's a bunch of wing players that's skilled at everything. Which probably makes Joe be like basketball player. Yeah, that probably makes Joe think like, oh, Kevin Durant, why you can't do what they do? But they in an era. Kevin Durant came from an era where you score. The Mellows and the Paul Pierces.
2006, 2007, I would agree.
Yeah, he come from that era, so it's different. Whereas a young player like even Wemby now can try to play make because positionless basketball.
Agreed. I can agree with that. Yeah.
So we got the draft up next. We got some grades. We got some of the teams that we don't care about. We just gonna go and give you what ESPN graded them, and I just ask if you agree or not. So we got the Arizona Cardinals. A. They got Jeremiah Love, Chase, the big old guard from Texas A&M. They got Carson Beck in the 3rd round. Reggie Virgil from Texas Tech. I like the Carson Sharir, Iowa, and I like, of course, y'all know I love Jaden Williams. Shout out to Ole Miss. Y'all like the A from them? They got the best offensive weapons, but I do hate that they drafted.
I don't like the A.
3 other point guard. I mean,
I don't like the A from them.
Okay, 10-1-2 cannot be heard this time.
Yes,
I'm gonna keep it a buck. With the Cardinals, I don't like the A. I mean,
I don't like it either. Not with that.
I think that's a little generous considering that their defense was in the bottom 20 in almost every category. And your first 3 picks was offensive players, and you only walked away with 2 defensive players when your defense is that horrible. So no, this is not an A because you didn't address any of your team needs for real. No.
Can I be heard? Testing 1, 2.
Yes, you can. Yep, you can.
Okay. I don't know. I was talking the whole time in the past. Position. The only thing I said, position is basketball. I think that only applies right now to point guards and centers. I think all the other ones are relatively fine. Other than that, it's come to this. I agree with Hollywood. They don't get an A, but my reason is because drafting Jeremiah Love, I think, is a mistake. Like you picked up Tyler Algier, who was a 1,000-yard rusher, and you decide to then go get Jeremiah Love. Fine. Like, that don't really make a lot of sense to me when you already
back who paid like
you had Connor possibly come back. You picked up Tyler Algier. Why did you draft a running back for your 1st round draft pick? Like, you didn't need him. So
this is $40 million in your running back room, by the way.
Like, that don't make sense to me. Like, I'm wondering who the general manager would think of that. Like, was he possibly the best person on there? Yeah, sure, but you didn't need him. I don't get that. I really don't get that one. Like, I'd rather they took a quarterback because now you got your freaking backup quarterback sitting there wanting starting quarterback money. So now what you gonna do with your quarterback room? Your running back room is full. No.
Who is your starting quarterback now that my boy's gone?
Carson Beck.
Jacoby Brissett.
He's the number 1?
No, Jacoby Brissett's the number 1, but he asking for number 1 money. He asking for money. And I'm like, no, he asking for money. So why would you draft? Man, it's just
I do want to say that I saw a lot of people tell me Jeremiah Love is a once-in-a-generation running back, and I'm like, I do not see it. I think he's a great running back. I told you I thought the Giants could get him and have thunder and lightning. Once-in-a-generation is like Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry when we saw him.
They said the same thing about Alvin Gentry last year.
Every good team he played, he averaged 30 yards a game.
They said the same thing about Alvin Gentry last year.
If you ain't got Reggie Bush highlights real for college, I don't want to see it.
He played Miami, had 25 yards rush. He played Texas A&M, had like 40. And I'm like, oh, this is a once-in-a-generation running back. He had 25 against Miami and 40 against Reggie Bush. ESPN be trying to hype me up on Jeremiah Love. But again, I think Jeremiah Love
made the wrong first-round pick.
I think he's still a good player, though.
I don't get the first-round pick for that one. Like, y'all didn't get him. Y'all could have got.
I do like Jeremiah Love as a player, but this once-in-a-generation thing y'all tagged him with was crazy. How the hell your team, Atlanta Falcons, a B-?
I mean, we only had 5 picks to begin with. Ended with 6, which was, cool. I read this joint. They said the reason why they gave us the B- because we traded the pick for James Pierce Jr., which is, I mean, I get it if you want to penalize them for trading, you know what I mean, but the pick actually worked out for us because we had legit a top 3 pass rush in the NFL last season. So, you know what I mean, but for this draft, I like every pick. You know what I mean? I'm gonna keep it a buck. The only pick that really kind of, you know what I mean, messed me up was, you know, y'all waited until the 7th round to get a tackle, so that means he probably really not going to mean much to the, you know, rotation of offensive linemen. But, you know, getting Terrell in the 2nd round was cool because
y'all got the Terrell brothers.
You know what I mean? you got brothers on the cornerbacks. AJ Terrell already a top 10 corner in the league. You know what I mean? And then you bring his brother in. I like Zach Branch a whole lot. You know what I mean? He going to add a crazy explosive dynamic to the offense. Him and Bijan on screens is going to be crazy. You ain't going to know who. And them RPOs, yeah, it's and then if Harold Perkins Jr. get back to that 1st round form, that's the steal of the draft for me. You know what I mean? So I would give it like a B+, but
2 years ago, Harold was a monster. Anybody else disagree?
Can't really see the screen as well. Did they draft the wide receiver in the draft? I don't think they did.
Zachariah Branch from Georgia, the quick.
Because my only concern for the Falcons is just more of their wide receiver room. Because, you know, I'm hearing rumors of Kyle Pitts probably getting traded, or possibly getting traded. I can say probably. Possibly getting traded. Darnell Mooney, who was their number 2, at least in most eyes or whatever, he left and went to a different team. So I was more concerned on that wide receiver room and what they're going to do. Because Tua, you know, who I'm assuming is going to end up taking it, being their starting quarterback, I'm just more worried of who he's going to throw to and addressing, of course, their line. But I think overall they'll be okay. Bulking up the running back room, good move. I'm not really mad at that as much. And just, you know, jumping on there to make sure he has stuff back there. Even you want to get an extra running back room for extra blockers. I'm not really mad at that. So as long as they address that, I don't know what to do about tight end, but otherwise, I think they'll be okay. I think a B- is fine for that draft. I don't think penalize them too much. I probably would give them an even B. Either way, I think it's good.
Yeah, they didn't have a 1st round pick, so a C was automatic. But I do like Branch, and I like Kendall Daniels. He's very quick linebacker.
He gonna be, I mean, but one note though for Tua with the Falcons, I know everybody say, you know, a lot of people say, oh, the offensive line. You go look at the stats. Michael Penix and Kirk Cousins was almost like the least sacked QBs last year. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that offensive line, Tua ain't gonna be concussed because that offensive line is actually good. You know what I mean? But yeah,
That's my hope.
Baltimore Ravens. What does Lamar Jackson get? He gets that gigantic, probably one of the most consistent players in the draft from Penn State.
Right.
I can't say it in Loana. That boy, that just right there clear people out. But I like him. They got Zion Young from Missouri, pretty good players. Jacoby Lane, the player everybody thought was gonna be like the star player from USC, but after what's the name left, but Jacoby Lane. Then they got Surratt from Indiana, Elijah. They went SMU tight end, which I like, probably like the second best tight end I think in this draft. They had Charles Rivers. They got another tight end from Alabama, which I don't remember him much, but it is what it is. They got an offensive lineman up the middle, a gigantic good one. And then they got an edge rush, and then they just got offensive weapons. This is one of them I believe B+, because I agree with this, because I think you just throw darts at some talented receivers and hope one of them just hit that might not have the production you thought, but one of them might hit them in the 2 tight end.
I like this draft from the Ravens. I mean,
the offensive guard good, bro.
I mean, they got a good guard. They got 2 receivers. You know what I mean?
2 tight ends.
And 2 tight ends, and one of the tight ends that could possibly become a starter. You know what I mean? You know? Yeah. I
feel like they just throw a bunch of offensive weapons to see which one stick.
They
really talented.
I'm cool with the grade. I just I'm gonna be real. Their draft didn't sway me. I feel like I've seen this draft before. Draft offensive pieces, especially offensive line pieces, and defensive pieces. And we're gonna go with this team out there being defense first, running possibly, and it don't sway me. Like unless one of the wide receiver they drafted ends up being like a great wide receiver, just like a Mecca Ibuka type person. This don't sway me because to me, it does not solve their biggest problem, which is offense. And so the offensive line maybe, but it don't really solve their offensive problem. So in my mind, I'm just like, it don't sway me. And I honestly would have preferred, like I think they good offensive guard and everything first round. I wouldn't have minded if they would have followed either a first round pick or a couple of second rounders. But they had a lot. Like, I feel like they could have bundled a few of those picks together with Zay Flowers and shipped them over to Dallas and pick up George Pickens, who wants an extension anyway. I'd have rather they did that than just, but they had a bunch of picks. I feel like they did the best job they could have with the picks that they had available. So I'm not mad at it, but I just would rather they bundled together and got a wide receiver.
Yeah, Jacoby Lane, Surratt, they two. One is a slot, Surratt is more slot. Jacoby Lane is the other number 2 receiver, so they never been number 1. But they're really talented, right? Like athleticism-wise, they're really talented. So it's like maybe we can get a Zay Flowers out of it because Zay Flowers was also in the same mold coming out of college.
We don't need 2 Zay Flowers. There's 2 B-10 receivers. I need an A. Like, I don't need 2 Bs. Not that at you. I'm just like.
My thing with this draft, though, with the Ravens, I know what Monray said about the offensive, but the thing that was their problem last year was that lack of a pass rush. You know what I mean? And you had like 11 picks, and you only got 2 defensive linemen out of the. 2 edge rushers out of the thing. So, I think that was a little mishap right there. Like, could have got a little bit more edge players in here, in my opinion.
Okay, low end, I would have picked him regardless.
I think
getting him at 14 is crazy. That dude is elite.
Like one of them tight ends could have easily.
I think they rounded it off by. Oh yeah, good. Also, I think they were just rounded. I think they're hoping that their new head coach, who's been wonders on defense for the Chargers, combined with the turnaround they did at the end of last season, because the defense actually was quite solid the second half of the season. The first half was horrible. So I think they're just depending on those 2 things to sort of get them through rather than just drafting a bunch of defensive pieces.
And also, they did just get Trey Hendrickson, so I get it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they did that. We'll see how that goes.
Zion Young and Trey Henderson on the edge.
That could work. Zion Young was he was good.
Yeah.
When
all I worry about Zion is he might get pushed off the ball a little bit, but pass was right.
What you would think about when you the Ravens is like, who are you going up against? Like who we about to talk about next, the Buffalo Bills. Like, okay, are you that worried about the quarterbacks in the AFC, whereas you need to be worried about like going up against the NFC?
Well, not in the division. Not in the division. They only worry about.
I don't think they got defensively, I don't think the Ravens need to really worry about too much.
Yeah, their division is really all pass rush. Like they need to be. That's why they strengthen their line, because their division is literally everybody got a good pass rush, except maybe the Bengals don't know them yet. But that's why they did that.
Well, the Bengals just got Dexter Lawrence.
You mean Dexter Lawrence is a great run blocker, but a half a sack last year. Half a sack is not going to help your pass rush. I'm sorry. But next up, we got the Buffalo Bills, a team people care about. We got a bunch of teams people care about early, but like I said, we'll move past those. T.J. Parker, edge rusher from Clemson. Very athletic, by the way. Clemson got an athletic team. They just didn't work out for some reason. I don't know if Dabo what's going on with them. They got the other cornerback from Ohio State. They got receiver Skylar Bell. They went mostly all defense.
You got to ask yourself, who do I need all this for Drake May? I think it comes down to that.
Well, you see how bad their defense is.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it comes down to that. And then also you need to look at that Houston game. And, like, what did I really need to do better? Because, Houston really exposed the hell out of how do we stop the quarterback? So I think that, like, the Buffalo Bills, any of the picks that they made, it's like, okay, yeah, how do we beat the quarterbacks in our division, which Miami, you're not really worried about that right now. I mean, although you did get an upgrade, I think, at quarterback with Miami picking up my boy, but it comes down to your division. So, yeah, the Buffalo Bills, I think their real test was Houston. So you needed to pick up things that will help you against Houston, attack like Houston.
Anybody else on Buffalo?
I mean, Buffalo had I like what they did for, especially on the defensive side. Like, needed hella help in the secondary. You see, they got 3 DBs in this joint, so good job on their part. I mean, I probably would have liked another wide receiver, but Yeah.
I'm not that afraid of Drake May. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm not that afraid of their offense.
Yeah. Murray, any thoughts on Buffalo Bills? We cannot hear you, Murray. But he'll be back in a minute. They said we got Carolina Panthers, a team we do not care about, but I will say this: Brazil in the 3rd round. I like. It's at an A- grade. Offensive tackle from Georgia. Lee Hunter, really good defensive tackle. But
I'm gonna keep it a buck. The Brazil pick definitely was, good for them. They get him another good receiver next to Ted out there.
Yeah, quarterback play went down, so he didn't shine as much as he did the year before.
The A+ is a little generous. I mean, the A- is a little generous, but it's. But hey, man, maybe because I'm a FRAUDS fan and I'm a hater, but the Brazil.
No, I agree. I think it's a little generous too.
Yeah.
How is the Falcons pass rush for you?
Yeah, man. Even though I'm disappointed in what James Pierce did, he fucked up. But if he remained on the team, we keep him, Jalen Walker, top 10 defense next year.
I'm gonna say, I think the Panthers is a little bit strong. I do think they got a lot of good picks that add to their team. I would wonder if they're just gonna stick with that wide receiver room just being the hopes of Tedero and McMillan and whoever else decides to pop up that they pick up in the offseason or something. But whatever. Like I'm not gonna be mad at it. I think they're fine the way they are. I don't expect a lot from the Panthers, to be fair. And then as far as the Bills go, because I couldn't be heard for stupid Mike Reed, is that I think that I actually agree with their A, because I think every bit of that draft should have been on defense. Because the reason why they don't beat the other quarterbacks or get farther in the playoffs is generally because their defense keeps on giving up 30 points a game in the playoffs. So yeah, they need to hit everything of defense to try to fix everything they possibly could. So I agree with it. I think that'd be fine.
Another team, the Chicago Bears added a Dylan Thieneman, safety from Oregon. They got the big lineman from Logan Jones, the center from Iowa. I like that pick. Sam Roosh would be the other one I would consider like the second or 4th best. I gotta remember. I can't remember. Xavier Thomas, really athletic receiver. I don't know if he could. Listen, if he can figure it out, he's gonna be really talented. But he didn't figure it out in college, so we'll see. He just really gifted, God gifted ability. But the Bears A-, agree or disagree?
I'm again wondering, like, what do they see? Like the Bears, their biggest deficiencies for me, besides quarterback, sophomore, issues. So we ain't really bad about that. But I think their big issues was on their defensive end, especially the secondary. Like, yeah, they didn't really have a pass rush. That's one thing. And then I combine that with the other fact of like, well, the secondary also leaves a bit to be desired, because it's like, why are mid-tier receivers burning your safeties and stuff? So I do like the safety to pick up. I'm actually with that a lot. I wouldn't have minded maybe an edge rusher, but like they just felt as though they wanted to be safe, get a center, and just try to bolster their line. So it's okay, but it's not an A- by any stretch to me. I think it's just like a solid B- for their draft, unless somebody just really works out.
Yeah, I think they just really generous with grades. Cincinnati Bengals got a B. I'm not gonna lie, I did not like their draft at all. Cassius Howell, they didn't have a first round pick either.
They praying that he turns into another Trey Hendrickson. They really are.
Yeah, no, that draft kind of.
I saw Cassius Howell. I think he's very gifted, but I think he can grow to a great player. Kobe Young, an interesting pick at receiver. Other than that,
I think Davis could be good, a good corner. You know what I mean? A good, you know what I mean? But other than that, I don't like their draft.
Like they need to hit a draft like the Cowboys did when they found Stephon Diggs and Michael Parsons. Like they need that kind of draft to save a lot of them. Right now, I'm looking at this. This is probably like a C, but anyway.
They didn't even add a bunch of offense.
I mean, considering they also didn't have their own first round pick either, I'm just yeah, I think it's like a C.
This draft, I like. I agree with the A-. You know what I mean? They did good. They addressed the offensive line with the first pick. Then
receivers. They
went back-to-back receivers. Yeah, I mean, you got a speedy dude, and then you got a big physical nigga that can go up and get the ball.
He's a muscle.
You know what I mean? So I don't understand the Taylor Green pick in the 6th round, but hey, man, it's the Browns. You know, let them do what they do. You know what I mean? But overall, solid draft for them. You know what I mean?
We wouldn't even be talking about the
Ryan
Browns.
Underrated from BYU.
We wouldn't even be talking about the Browns if there wasn't a quarterback pick in there. Like, then we would actually be able to grade them right. But everybody's going to get stuck on Taylor. And that's not the point of this. Like, offensive tackle, good job. That's what you're supposed to do. And see if you can find something at wide receiver. I think those were 2 good things. But, like, they were in the right direction.
Yeah, give some weapons out there.
Because defense, do you need defense? No. Figure out how to fix this offense. You're doing what, like, the Browns are in a great place as an organization as you have the defense now figure out offense why you can get them for the low.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just going to go to Cowboys.
Oh, no. My last thing for the Browns, I think the quarterback is the only reason why they don't get an A+, just because I think they hit everything. Getting KC Concepcion, I think, is a really good pick for your 2nd rounder. So I think they're not through the park except for getting the quarterback for whatever reason, but that's not it.
Agreed.
Listen, I don't understand. It's great. ESPN been great and everybody light and nice, but they gave the Cowboys a B+ when I'm like, this is clearly A.
They did a good job. The Cowboys did a good job.
That was the skill of the draft in round 1.
Caleb Downs is literally the smartest player probably to come out as safety since the era of all the great safeties when they all came out.
He gonna fix that Cowboys secondary immediately.
And then you got Malachi Lawrence, by the way, who I think is right now still growing because he's a young player, which is very rare now because football players stay forever. So Malachi Lawrence is young, very athletic. Then they got the edge rush from Michigan. They got offensive tackle. They got corner. They just went straight defense.
This was a solid draft.
This is one of the best drafts.
Yeah, they addressed their biggest need, which is defense.
Yeah, I can't hold you. I don't understand how this ain't at least an A. Like, I think the Cowboys had one of the best drafts, considering that, you know, everything they went through in the offseason with the Micah stuff and everything, and then what they got back midseason, and adding this draft. Like, I literally, when we were going over our pre-draft guesses, nobody ever thought Caleb Downs would fall all the way to the Cowboys. The fact that they was able to pull him is amazing. Following up with Malachi Lawrence, I think it's also great. They got a couple of edge rushers to try to get something out of the edge rushing position if they hold on. I think they hit their draft through the park, no question. Like, I'm shocked they talking about a B+. I don't really see the bad part of their draft.
Drake Shelton got drafted like a round or 2 early, and I'm like,
I mean,
that's a project player.
It's a prime A. This is an A. Like, the Caleb Downs falling to them immediately put them at least at a B. So saying it's a B+ for everything else, I think it's foolish. When they didn't do anything
wrong. Think about it. You get.
They literally got their biggest need.
This is the Roy Williams.
They safety's average give up 10 yards.
This is a Roy Williams type of player you get here. A safety that's going to be there for a long time. I mean,
I'm just saying it's crazy. Even if you don't think nobody else worked out, Caleb Downs, I'm pretty sure him and that guard from Penn State are the 2 players I'm pretty sure in the draft going to work out.
His
now we turn on Mendoza.
I don't know nothing about nothing. I know Caleb Downs.
Before we even get to the Raiders, though, I want to ask y'all a question. You know what I mean? And I know we get into another team, but I'm sorry, y'all. Is the Mendoza, is he that good?
No.
Like, they be interested because they brag about it accuracy, but a lot of it passes.
Is he a franchise changing? Is he a year 1 take him to the playoffs? Jaden Daniels, CJ Stroud.
No, he's not that.
No,
okay.
No, he's not a Geno Smith type of height.
The team ain't good enough for him to do that either.
Okay,
so
let me be fair.
He's not a Geno Smith type of height.
let me be fair. I don't know because I'm gonna have another answer. Don't worry. First off, I don't know if he can do that because a lot of quarterbacks we don't know what they'll be until they hit the league. On the paper, based off everything he looks and what he looks like and everything he's done, no, he don't. No, he's not really. He's just the best quarterback on a year where there's not many quarterbacks entering the draft. Also on the same year that a quarterback needy team happened to have the number 1 pick. So it's a combination of a lot of good fortune. No, he don't look that good on paper. Absolutely not. But we're just like, hey, you got lucky, and sometimes football is literally about luck. So, but will he do it? Who knows? So he might be able to get them to a wild card round. We didn't think Jaden Daniels' team looked anything good on the Washington Commanders when he got drafted. Lo and behold, they hit the NFC Championship. So I don't know. Maybe.
Which week does Kirk Cousins get benched?
I would say not this season.
If you can help it, you would say not this season. But to be honest, I'm gonna say about week. What I say last season for the other dude when I had the same question? I think about week.
You're gonna give them 9 games at least.
No, I'm gonna think about like week 6 or 7. They're probably cashing in. By the time when the Raiders are almost to the point they're eliminated the playoff contention, so it can be about week 6 or 7.
And those are starting week 1.
I think about week
1.
I mean, he might be a week 1 starter, but I'm saying if they choose not to do it, they want to sit behind a little bit. I'll say week 6 or 7. That'd be the longest.
I don't know the last time I saw a number 1 pick that didn't start week 1.
He gonna be in.
I don't even know a top 3 pick that didn't start week 1. So
he gonna be in hell.
Drake May didn't start week 1 last year. What you talking about? Don't do that, Grandpa.
Oh yeah, Drake May
start week 1 last year.
Drake May went number 1.
You said top 3.
I did say top 3, but I forgot about that.
Molly, don't do that. Don't do that. Do not do that. Do not do that.
To have no first round pick and still come away with this many.
That's Jalen Waddle.
They
count Jalen Waddle as a pick. By the way, I don't care about the draft because I don't know how they got an A-. Because
they shouldn't have got an A-. But I mean, the Broncos, to be fair, don't really need anything. They had, other than maybe a better running back or dependable running back, but otherwise they're fine the way that they are. So I don't really think they needed anything. So they could just get a B- just for being there. Like they don't really need anything drafted, but they find something.
And then they got the one thing they did need. They got Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, they got that in offseason. So they're like, okay, you're fine, but A- is a little crazy, but whatever.
Next up, we got Detroit. I don't really care about this draft that much.
Detroit couldn't get everything they needed in one draft. I'll be real with you.
I do like that Kendrick Law pick in the 5th round, though. I do like that.
I do. Kendrick Law is nice. I like Blake Miller too, but again, he's another super talented player from Clemson. You see a lot of first round Clemson players, but they did not play like that in first round. That might be a Dabo problem. Next up, we got Green Bay. Again, a draft. They didn't get a pick till late, and they got
again. The thing that Green Bay need, I don't think they. Well, to be fair, they would need like a number 1 wide receiver. I don't think they necessarily got that. But strange things in the NFL have happened. But like, I don't really care about that draft.
Like the Dennis Sutton pick, but yeah, they should have got a wide receiver.
That's why I said I don't think they got it. So I'm saying, yeah.
They couldn't pick. All the good receivers gone before they got to 52.
Should have traded up this shit.
Well, they traded 2 first rounders for Micah. That's why they didn't trade up.
That's what I'm saying. They got that for the trade. Again, Texans, they didn't. I don't know
was wrong.
Because most of the Texans doing is hoping everybody come back healthy, and that's it.
I'm happy they got their first rounder right.
Yeah, the guard.
They got the first rounder right though. As long as they got something for their O line on their first rounder, they'll find me.
I only say that about that second round pick because that defense is already elite and they just got a dog. So to sub him in random places like his first band, Houston's defense is still here, y'all. So just understand and know that. It's just what you gonna do. What you gonna do with that offense?
Dabo, I got a question, Dabo. Every team I seen drafted a Clemson player. Why y'all suck?
Because Dabo,
all right, Joe, here your coach is.
Yeah, let's go, Joe. Let's go.
Yeah.
Talk about this coach.
I mean, they also gave away their first round draft pick, so it's like they picked late themselves.
But for Sauce Gardner, that is not as good as Michael Parsons.
It's the caliber. If he can come back, I'm not even gonna get on the ifs. What the coach did, they did a great job at because you need to keep your team competitive. And right now, the offenses in the AFC South, I'm still not that afraid of Trevor Lawrence. I'm not that afraid of CJ Stroud, and I'm not afraid of Cam Ward. I need to win my division. And if I need to beat up on these young quarterbacks, now Trevor Lawrence is evolving. I think he's being a really good passer of the ball. And I believe that he can play. He could be the best quarterback in this division unless I get a healthy Daniel Jones. Now that's a different situation. But
they should have drafted a quarterback. That's what they should be.
No, thank you. We don't need that right now. We're not worried about that right now.
Your quarterback's coming off an Achilles injury, and we have no idea what he's going to look like, or if he can throw the ball. They should have. We don't know that. Like right now, he's on an Achilles. He may not can throw a ball right now. Right now, they should have drafted a quarterback.
Let me. I know, and they just signed him. That's my problem. That's what gives you a really good argument. Is because we did sign him to more money. But the thing is, if we get him back, his arm is not hurt. His leg is. I get that. And I know what it takes to throw a football. I get all that. But I think what they're doing right now, keep the games close and let's try and win them. Because we almost did that in the playoff game with Phillip Rivers. So I think we're okay.
They should have picked up Carson Beck. They should have picked up Carson Beck.
No, there's no quarterback. I don't want to pay a quarterback, bro.
You pay one. That's the problem.
Not right now. I don't need.
Yes, y'all did. Y'all let Daniel Jones rob y'all for over $100 million.
What if
he got hurt, dog? He got hurt.
What if, and I still believe in Daniel Jones. See, if I didn't believe in Daniel Jones, then I'm with you. And we need to find a quarterback. But if we can do something like that with Phillip Rivers, if we can just bring in a viable quarterback, so right now, let's have him. But like we can sign veteran players for a little bit and see what we can do from an offensive. I would like Jacoby Brissett back, honestly. Let me get him for a little bit. I'll take him right now. So that's where I'm at from an offensive.
Bringing in Phillip Rivers was not a good idea.
But it didn't hurt. And he almost won.
Well,
and I know this ain't horse.
Y'all believe in Anthony Richardson. That's what he do. Y'all believe in A-Rich.
Who else do I believe in?
Anthony Richardson.
There's opportunity for him to get better. He could get better.
We need to make sure it's understood. Bringing in Phillip Rivers was not a good idea. That was not.
It wasn't a terrible idea either, but
it was a terrible idea. It was definitely a terrible idea.
Either. It didn't cross my mind to go pick up a random quarterback. But here we find out that we can pick up a guy that was just coaching high school football a couple of weeks ago and hasn't thrown a football in the league in a long time, and pick him up and see that he can still thrive. So
that's not a flex.
I think it's a pretty good flex. I think that's not a flex.
He didn't win a game. It's not a flex.
My boy had a beer belly.
It's not a flex. They made a record, and I'm not talking about the Colts. I'm not trying to talk about the Colts in negative fashion, but I'm just being real. They went and got the oldest. They made a record for the oldest starting quarterback in history because they went and got this old starting quarterback from a high school coaching team when there were other viable quarterbacks they could have just picked up temporarily if they wanted to try to continue to make a run. So it was just multiple reasons why it didn't make any sense. And it proved everybody right when the best they got to show for it is that he almost won a game. Like they went defeated, and it was a bad idea.
I'll take that. I'll take that because I don't think we're trying to win. I'll take that. And you know what? Honestly, again, that shows how great the team is because they were able to do that with Phillip Rivers and almost beat Seattle. Was one of them. Almost beat them. So I'm just throwing it out. I'm throwing it out there.
That was the best flex. They almost beat Seattle.
Yep.
And then they were defeated against everybody else.
Yep.
That's not a flex.
Yes, it is.
Next up, we got Jacksonville Jaguars. I did not care about this draft.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a lot of second-tier picks or whatever because, they made a move, getting Jacoby Brissett. Not Jacoby Brissett, Jacoby Myers.
I mean, the B suits him.
They didn't really need, I'll be fair. I'll say they needed a running back. I don't know if they really are going to be able to withstand missing him because Travis Etienne was the main focal point of that offense with the successful year he had last year. Them not addressing that does hurt me a bit. Like, you didn't even try to get a running back. I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to feel about this.
What's his name?
Oh, it's Bishop, Deshaun Tootin or whatever. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, them not even trying to address it, but whatever. Maybe they'll be a throw happy team.
Next up, we got Kansas City Chiefs. Without Patrick Mahomes, they went straight defense, and I actually liked a lot of defensive players. Delaney, from LSU is one of the best, like fully healthy corners that we had saw. Peter Woods is a freak of nature, a defensive tackle, absolute freak. Oh, that kid Mason Thomas from Oklahoma, dog. The cornerback from Oregon, he got potential. I can see he's really fast. And then they got the receiver from Cincinnati, which they have good luck with receiver from Cincinnati. And then Garrett Nussmeier in the 7th round. Garrett Nussmeier was a first-round projected pick. Ended up going in 7th round. How bad he played this year, but like if you play NCAA, Garrett Nussmeier was like a 94 to start the year.
I feel like their last pick eliminates them from being an A-. I was actually a bit surprised that they decided to jump to get the corner when supposedly they don't really care much about corners, but whatever. So I'm cool with those.
Nussmeier.
Look. You have Patrick Mahomes. You don't need to draft a quarterback. I'm just going to be fair with you. You do not need to draft a quarterback. So wasting, and I do say wasting a draft pick on a quarterback when you don't need a quarterback just is a waste of a draft pick. Like in my mind, the only way you are literally getting Garrett Nussmeier or any quarterback if you are the Kansas City Chiefs is if you have any inkling that Patrick Mahomes is either, possibly not coming back or may be falling off. That is the only reason you would ever draft a quarterback. Otherwise, I don't care who behind
you can get you a good backup. Everybody likes a good backup quarterback.
Just QB.
Like I said, everybody want a good backup, a talented, athletic backup quarterback.
Well, and also to be fair, because their backup, they did have backup in Gardner Minshew, but he also towards ACL. But like in my mind, because I never want to invite the horrible threat of the quarterback controversy. Like, let's just say Garrett Nussmeier, the reason why he failed was more because of injury and stuff. Let's just say, I don't care which way the other, so I'm not going to knock on wood because I always want success for everybody. Let's just say, week 1 of the NFL season, Patrick Mahomes isn't quite ready to start, so he'll be there like week 3, 4, whatever it can be. And they just have no choice but to throw in Garrett Nussmeier. And this mother lover, bless him another reason, throws for 330 yards, 3 touchdowns, and runs for another one against a garbage team. What happens then? No, I'm
to Arizona.
I'm not even going to start that nonsense.
No,
I don't even want to start it.
This what happens.
He getting Garrett Nussmeier instantly getting traded to the Cardinals for a first round.
Yeah, this is what you do. You pat him on the back and
what you mean? Patrick Mahomes got this job for the rest of his life.
Yeah,
he is no controversy.
Say good
That's
job.
Gonna be ecstatic. The first thing they do, Hollywood, hey, Arizona.
Yep.
The quarterback. You saw what my boy Garrett did.
How many draft picks you
Patrick be back by week 6. Come get him.
How many draft picks you got for Nussmeier? I mean, they on the line right after that.
Like I said, Patrick Mahomes, the one player in this league that I guarantee do not have a controversy no matter what.
No, but I do agree in some aspect. If you just going to waste the 7th round pick, you could have picked anybody. But I mean,
I picked another wide receiver.
But like I said, if he do work out, like if what Murray said happens, that's a blessing because we call Arizona today. Like, hey, week 6, Patrick back. We got you week 5. What's up? Hit me up.
Yeah, but, I'm an LSU nigga, so my man Mansour Delane, that's a top tier pick right there. You could slide him right in for Trent McDuffie and you be good. You know what I mean? So. I like that pick.
Peter Woods is a freak of nature, dog. He was the number
2.
Him
and Chris Jones on that line gonna be.
Peter Woods was the number 2 recruit in the country for a reason. That man's like 340 pounds and run like a 4.56 out here. All muscle, like a tall Aaron. I ain't gonna say Aaron Donald. That's a lot of pressure, but athletic wise, he is a tall Aaron Donald. That don't mean he can work out like Aaron Donald.
And now that he's an NFL player. Now that he's an NFL player, he's going to have somebody that's literally hired just for him to keep his body where it needs to be. So he doesn't explode to be a lot bigger. Like, it's somebody that's going to know his body to a science.
Be a lot big. He's 345.
You don't need another Albert Haynesworth situation.
Exactly.
Albert worked out still.
I hate to say it, but we don't want a Shaq situation.
You remember how hard it was to run on Albert Haynesworth? It big just covered the last. He just leave.
We don't want a Shaq situation where we talk about that.
The fridge too. They used to just lean on people and just cover the whole space.
Shout out to the fridge, but the fridge
he was a big part of that. Vince Young led Titans team, let's not forget Albert Haynesworth is a problem. He was a problem, and he didn't take
it
it
serious. You couldn't do nothing. You couldn't run on him because
he was just a lazy nigga. That's all.
That's a lazy big nigga that can get you.
I do like the Raiders draft. They addressed the secondary.
They gave him A-. Is it because of the quarterback? Let's talk. Let's take the quarterback out. What do you
got an A? The quarterback got an A.
Even Mendoza aside, their best pick was in the 4th round. McCoy. If he come back healthy, if he come back healthy, any shape or form the way he was before he got injured, that's still a draft right there, bro.
Yeah, I still think their draft is really good.
Yeah, he could be a legit starter if he healthy.
We got the Los Angeles Chargers.
Washington Jr. pick. You know what I mean?
We got the Los Angeles Chargers. Akeem Messidor, I really like.
I know because he's Miami. Is he actually good though?
Yes, Messidor is awesome.
Okay,
he gave Indiana. So, but outside of Messidor, rest of the draft.
Hey, listen, they said offensive line. We tired of Herbert on his ass, so they said we drafted
guard tackle, guard
4 offensive linemen. You know what I mean?
They said we're gonna get backups.
Intent, it's an A. I'm not sure about the players though, but the intent is there.
Jake Slaughter could make his way into that starting offensive lineup.
I do like Jake Slaughter. He got potential Florida.
Quarterback of the future situation. Is that
next
what we
up? Los Angeles Rams when it got Ty Simpson. That's the biggest thing. I do like Max Clare from Ohio.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. This
draft,
Daniels
is
terrible.
A C- draft. You didn't know Daniels. Like y'all being generous as hell. Like
terrible.
I mean, the Ty Simpson pick, I get it, but at the same time, if y'all trying to win now, you shouldn't spend your 1st round pick. You could have got Ty Simpson in the 2nd and 3rd round. Nobody was picking him in the 1st round.
I don't know if you can get him 3rd. You can get him 2nd though.
Maybe but nobody was picking him in the 1st round. So I don't understand why they spent their 1st round pick on him when nobody else was going to pick him.
Didn't they trade up for him too?
No, he was right there. That was the one they got from
Atlanta.
Yeah.
That's Atlanta's pick. Okay. Yeah, I didn't.
Terrible.
Ty Simpson was a shock. That was about the only thing about this one. Miami Dolphins again. They drafted a lot of people. I like Proctor, but I don't really.
Yeah, they draft kind of.
Yeah. They got one wide receiver, so we'll see if he has some hope.
Douglas is nice though. He I mean, if he make that starting lineup, he could be a starting receiver on that team if he. Yeah, I mean, he nice.
How you get all them picks and only get a B?
Goddamn.
How you get all them picks and only get a B though? Like it should be an A. Like you didn't find that many good players. Y'all got that many picks.
But it's because the Dolphins right now is just really trying to retool their team. This is a down year for them. They know it. That's why they're not really worried about it.
To be fair, it ain't no big name. They just trying to fill up their team with good players.
Right.
They're like, we're gonna slug and they'll get a.
I'm not saying it's a bad. When I just go over the team, I'm not saying they're bad picks. I'm just like, ain't nothing to just pop out. These players got potential to be good, but nobody just pops out on your screen.
Right.
Hey.
I did bring up Caden Proctor.
I like round, they went all pass catchers, so that's interesting.
Yeah. So next up, Minnesota Vikings. Same thing. I felt about this. I don't even see a name. I don't see a single name that pop out to me on this.
Oh, they got Max Breederson, fullback, Michigan.
The tight end.
People got fullbacks now.
Man, if I see Kyler Murray in a strong guy formation, I'm gonna go off.
No, they got a fullback. You know what I mean?
If they get into an I formation, I'm gonna go off, bro.
Well, we got the move.
They don't know who got the ball. Who got the ball?
You know what I mean?
Who got the ball in the I formation?
The Patriots. I like this draft. They addressed tackle position, which was very weak. The 2 tackles was very weak, so they got 2 of them. Other than that, that's all I said.
I literally think the Patriots might look exactly the same they did this year, just with a little bit more difficult schedule. So a few less.
Yeah, I do like that they addressed the tackles. I wish they had got a receiver though. But other than that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they tackles.
Romeo Dobbs for the win.
The Saints again. I like Jordan Tyson. I like Oscar Delp too, but ain't nothing about else really stand up. Ain't really.
I mean, as
Miller's a really solid player. Like I said, these players still solid. I like watching them playing They did. They drafted a kick returner in the 6th round, which I don't know. I never heard of people drafting kick returners only, but okay.
As a Saints hater, I was mad that they got Jordan Tyson, but then we drafted Terrell, so I was like, all right, we good.
The Giants. This is one thing I'm gonna say about the Giants. The Giants drafted pure potential. Like all these players could be great, but we don't know. Arvell Reese is a freak of nature.
Arvell Reese falling to them is really good because I did not think most people had him going at 2, 3. Him dropping him to 5 is crazy. So we're gonna help them. But look, offensively, I'm sure looking like, did I really leave Jackson Dart somebody to throw to?
They get healthy, don't really count. If
you bet on Malik Neighbors. You give Malik Neighbors 1 year.
They need another pass catcher, not just him, especially because old boy got traded over as well.
Didn't they lose Wan'Dale Robinson?
Yeah, like Wan'Dale was the main pass catcher last year when he was gone.
I forgot who they added. They added somebody in the slot. Take Wan'Dale's spot.
Give your quarterback a chance and just build that defense. If you're drafting,
I think they got Darnell Mooney. I think.
Yeah, they got Mooney.
Yeah, that's the one they got. Okay, it might be okay.
You know what I'm saying? Then they got Malachi Fields, who was humongous, by the way. Malachi Fields is humongous.
I am shocked though they let Caleb Downs pass them by at 10 because that's why I really thought he was going to end up going once he kept dropping. I'm shocked that they passed him up just to get an offensive tackle, but
hey man, protect keep your quarterback upright.
The best safety in the draft let you pass by. I guess.
The one thing about this draft is full potential because Colton Hood, Malachi Fields, Arvell Reese, and the offensive tackle from Miami could all be Pro Bowl.
That's respect for Dak Prescott.
Definitely.
But at the same time, they might not be Pro Bowl.
no respect for the tush push.
And I'm just saying that's respect for Dak Prescott, the people that's gonna go back there and play quarterback. So
definitely, I got you, definitely.
Next up is the Jets. By the way, I'm gonna say this about the Jets. The Jets went and got a bunch of players that won and played well in big games. From David Bailey to Sadiq, the tight end, to Omar Cooper Jr., Indiana, to Pons from Indiana. Again, another Clemson player. Hey, listen, Clemson probably had the most player draft than like the worst team out of all.
I like the Jets draft. You know what I mean?
I like the Jets draft too.
Yeah, I think they got some good pieces. Sadiq and Omar Cooper, following them back to back. At least it shows they're at least trying to invest in offense at least a little bit. So I'm relatively cool with it. And it might blend together to go well with Wilson and Breece Hall still being there. It may work out, but
who they got playing quarterback?
It's Geno Smith. So it could work out, because there's not a lot that's expected of them. They're in a division where they'll at least have one game where they'll look good out of 4. So I mean,
listen, I'm gonna be honest. They just drafting players to try to get that Manning boy next year.
I just want to say sorry to Aaron Glenn because you about to get fired, my nigga.
He is, and you know the routine. Get the black coach, get a bunch of players, get a bunch of good players, fire them, get the quarterback the next year.
It's so unfortunate that it might go that route too. It might go that route again.
Because there's a lot of solid players, but they ain't finna make them win because the team.
It's what happened with the Patriots last year. It might happen with the Jets.
They set my man up for failure. His first 2 years there, y'all give him Justin Fields and Geno Smith at quarterback.
And then draft well around them so you can get all the players around them. Then fire them and get the star quarterback the next year.
That was the point I was making about the Jets is like just about young or rebuilding franchises. Yeah. Get people while you have to pay them for less, and then just hang in there and build you a great defense. And then as the defense starts aging out from a price standpoint, then you already have an opportunity to build your offense, and then it's cyclical. You feel me? That's all I'm saying.
My boy Glenn finna get fired, and
you got to sell the black coach for it every time, but hopefully.
Right.
And now you talking about some other stuff, and I ain't put my right fist up yet.
Because this is a solid draft from a bunch of good players. They're gonna play well, but they ain't gonna win your game. And then you're gonna probably do it again next year and get Manning with them, and then from the 2 years before a lot of players grow and become good.
We all watched football last year, right?
Yeah.
Did we all see Geno Smith?
I don't think that was his fault.
That was 100%.
That he looked that bad.
Oh, he shared 50%. Don't worry, he shared 50% of it.
Like Aaron Glenn, I'm sorry, my brother. I'm sorry.
I mean, it might get a turnaround, but I'm hoping for a turn. I just don't want you to get fired like they did New England Patriots coach when he got set up for failure, and then they gave that Super Bowl.
I think Geno Smith has better stats with the Seattle Seahawks instead of Sam Darnold, I believe.
What?
Makai Lemon.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm saying if you were to switch up their seasons like last year and you put him with that Seattle Seahawks, I think Geno's stats look better than Sam Darnold.
That's the reason they got rid of him and chose the other one. So.
I can't say there's a reason, but that's
I mean, they got rid of a lot of stuff off their team. They got rid of him. They got rid of the head coach. They got rid of the other wide receiver. They got rid of a lot of their team and just went younger. And their draft just worked out. And the draft just worked out for him.
I just don't believe that Geno was the issue, but
he was part of it.
It was not that bad.
We got my Eagles, who got Makai Lemon, who is the most dramatic receiver I've ever seen in my life. My man stopped by the Eagles logo and cried and kissed it, and I'm like, bro, you just told me you was a Steeler like 5 minutes ago. This is the team I wanted to go to. I'm like, bro, you all right, bro? But I love.
The Eagles are ready to win. I would be happy too if I know that I could be on a Super Bowl contending team this year.
By the way, Eli Stowers is crazy talented. He made Pavia. Go look at Vanderbilt. Pavia was ever in trouble. He threw the ball at him, and I'm like, yeah.
They got
best tight end in the draft. Let's go.
And then they got
Eli Stowers is a dog.
They got Nigerian Miles Garrett.
What Jalen Hurts? They said you scared to throw the ball to the middle. They gave you 2 middle receivers that love going across the middle.
I mean, I think they're fine. A, maybe even an A minus, because I mean, other than Makai Lemon, the rest of it ain't really super impressive. But otherwise, they fine. I don't think it wasn't really much the Eagles could do to mess up the draft. To be fair, anything they drafted was probably gonna be fine because they don't really need a lot. But getting Makai Lemon does, basically put the stamp on like, okay, they probably just trading AJ Green because there's no reason you assigned one and drafted one with your first round draft pick if you weren't trading AJ Brown. So they probably just went ahead and put the stamp on like, okay, yeah, he's probably gonna be a New England Patriot after June 1st.
By the way, I do want to show y'all this dude right here. 6'4", 306.
We are not glazing the Eagles this hard, sir.
Nigerian Miles Garrett, nigga.
I'm telling you, my boy ran like a 4.5 at 6'4", 306. He never touched a football in his life. We drafted pure potential. This dude didn't even play football.
Eagles about to turn that nigga into a weapon, dog.
Hey,
we don't even know what position he played.
That's gonna be great. Defensive end, but he could be a lot of things, man.
He's 6'4", 304.
Yeah, put that big nigga on the edge, man.
Start him at defensive end. See
if
what
he learned the basics.
He start nowhere now.
He might be a safety at some point.
If he learned the basics, it's over with. So I got to say,
my man a freaking nation, but he ain't starting nowhere. You seen I he just gonna be there to wear somebody out when everybody died. Like, look at this big motherfucker coming. But Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm gonna add Murray this before we go on. But Murray, how you feel about Drew Allard, who was also projected to be a first round pick from Penn State before he fell off in like week 5?
Look, they gonna get a slight pass because I was the one that said they should have got Ty Simpson, but when they went ahead and got him. At that point, I can't blame them for not jumping down the bandwagon to get somebody like Carson Beck or somebody of that nature. So getting Drew Allard, at least they got a quarterback. They still get minus a grade point for still being in the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes, but whatever. Like, I think their draft is fine. I'm not mad at Pittsburgh for what they did. I think they did relatively fine offense.
I love Bernard from Alabama. He is crazy good. Bernard from Alabama.
But they went heavy in the offense. I think they might have went a little too heavy in the offense because you don't really need a lot, like maybe a running back, but you didn't really need nothing on the wide receiver end. So it's a little bit weird. Why you want to go? You traded for Michael Pittman. You still got DK Metcalf, and then you went and got another one like in the second round. I'm like, you didn't really need wide receiver work. You need running back work, but whatever.
Next up, we have the 49ers. My boy Stribbling from Ole Miss. Shout out to Stribbling. I like Romello Heights, good player. Black from Indiana, good player.
Hold on real quick. We were talking about Philadelphia. Does anybody want to give an update on the game, 76ers versus Boston?
I mean, I done already made peace with Boston botching that game. I ain't worried about it before.
I just asked a question.
Oh, they lost?
Yeah, they lost that game. I watched the whole thing. They decided to give up. They gave up 18 points to I forgot what boy on the bench. They gave up 33 to freaking Joel Embiid. I guess he heard Grandpa when he was talking about stop shooting threes because he stopped shooting threes.
My boy had like 8. My man was like 3 for.
Oh yeah, it was.
He stopped shooting threes. He was 0 for 5 for the rest of the game. He didn't shoot another 3, and he decided to go. And then he decided to listen to you, and we ain't worried about it.
White holding a 7'3" man in a paint.
They want to give up 18 points.
Wrong with Boston for putting a
They want to give up 18 points to Creighton Grimes. Like, so I ain't worried about it. Boston tried to botch that. Boston tried to botch game 5, whatever. Now we got to go to Philadelphia in a hostile territory and try to win that game. So whatever. I think they botched game 5. Oh well.
Tyrese Maxey, you do not need to shoot the ball.
That's why I was having them looks on my face when I was a little bit earlier because I looked at the score and I'm like, why'd they botch game 5? But whatever, they botched game 5.
Yeah. Next up, we got Seattle.
Shout out to Quentin Grimes.
Listen, Price is like the Jeremiah Smith backup, but I think he's talented. But again, nothing big. They didn't really need nothing big. They're the Super Bowl champ.
I like they draft.
I just say what they didn't need. They needed getting the backup running back because you gave up your Super Bowl winning MVP quarterback. Running back.
I like the Bud Clark pick.
I do like Bud Clark.
He's gonna be a good addition to their secondary.
Yeah. We got Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Josiah Trotter and Reuben Bain Jr. I like them picks, by the way. And I love Scott. I love Keontae Scott from Miami. Keontae Scott in the 4th round is crazy. I love it.
Too many shootouts for Buccaneers, so good defense. Keep Baker Mayfield out of the shootout.
Yeah, that's okay. It's fine. Defense is definitely the thing they needed the most, and a little bit of wide receiver help. Like they tried to address both, so I'm cool with it. All things considered.
Tennessee Titans. I love Cornell Tate. I really did love Cornell Tate. I think Falk is really talented too. Falk on the edge is really good, but Cornell Tate is still this draft.
Yeah, we need to get our boy number 1 wide receiver. So they tried. They got Cornell Tate, arguably the best wide receiver in the draft. So I hope it works out for him. And otherwise,
crazy. We said Cornell Tate the best receiver in the draft. He ain't the best receiver on his team.
I said possibly, but just like I said, it's a wide receiver heavy draft. Sort of like last year's was. Last year was a pretty deep wide receiver draft as well. So we'll see.
But it wasn't even possibly on Ohio State, Murray. That was the funny thing. Jeremiah Smith, that's how great he is next year.
Like, he might be the number 1 pick.
Makai Lemon?
Oh, he's better than him.
We gonna see.
Garnell's better. We can't say we gonna see because we don't know what kind of line that my man's is going up there with Tennessee. Don't put that
hopefully it ain't worse. It really shouldn't be much worse than what it was last year.
And Makai Lemon in a much better situation.
Give him a fair shot.
Tate might be getting double teamed.
Well, Cornell Tate might get double teamed, but Makai Lemon, I don't really know how many foes he's gonna get per game because he's gonna be on the team that's run first. Also with a team that has multiple wide receivers. So I don't know how many looks he gonna get. Versus Cornell Tate is gonna get a lot of looks, but he might get double teamed. So neither one of these situations is amazing for them individually as players, but we'll see how it goes.
Well, he'll get more one-on-ones in the slot. But yeah. Washington Commanders, I love Sonny Styles as a competitor and as a prospect. Because him and his brother are freakish athletic. But other than that, like I said, he plays. Clemson got another player, Dabo Swinney. I love this and Dabo. It's fun.
Yeah. At least Commanders going younger, so it's all.
Dabo got like 20 draft picks this year, and they sucked. I still want y'all to bring it up.
Shout out to Coach Ryan Kerrigan for that defensive line. We'll see what he does. My old teammate.
And that's it. That's the draft.
That's it. So y'all got one team that lost the draft and one team that wins the draft. What y'all think?
I think the Cowboys
won.
I think Cowboys killed it.
I want to say Cowboys myself too.
I think the Cowboys killed it. As far as lost the draft, I don't understand why the Cardinals picked up an extra running back when you needed dang near everything else. So that threw me.
They paying that running back room almost $40 million.
The Rams.
By the way, running backs, you don't get paid by position in the draft. You get paid by your placement. That means he's getting paid possible third overall pick quarterback money.
$53 million.
Saquon Barkley making. He ain't never played a game yet.
$53 million is what he's making.
He's making like Saquon. Them like almost
crazy.
4 years.
And not only that, they just got a Fred receiver that making like $10 million. So all their money is in their running back room right now. He got money too. He got paid too, which I think. But I think that's the show for today. Any frauds in the NBA y'all want to talk about? I think we covered everybody.
Yeah, I go through them next time on some of these series though, or possibly in game 7s. We'll see how it goes first.
Yeah, I like that idea. Let's see what happens here because
they got Gucci the ref up out of here. You know what I mean? So
yo, that's funny. I like everybody. Like, the ref look like Gucci, man. My man gave Devin Booker a tick for no reason.
There's gonna be some painful off seasons. I know that.
But shout out to
I'm pushing the narrative with a full strength 76ers right now. So we'll just keep watching because I have a narrative with Boston Celtics too that I'm trying to push. So I don't know.
Oh well, I can tell you right now, that narrative ain't well for you in 5 games. So
which one?
Keep on going.
Which narrative?
76ers.
Which narrative? Is it the Jaylen Brown narrative or is it
your Jaylen Brown narrative ain't been well in 5 games, bro. So
oh man, here you go.
Oh, I said this earlier. That if Boston shoot bad from 3, we'll win. 2 for 5, 4 for 12. By the way, how's a 2 for 5? Jason Tatum 4 for 12.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown 1 for 4. Derek White 0 for 4. Vucevic 2 for 5. Garza 0 for 1. Pritchard 1 for 5. Walsh 0 for 1. And Skillman 1 for 2.
If Jason Tatum wasn't there, maybe it would be.
Bad. Keep launching them up.
If Jason Tatum wasn't there, maybe it would be a little.
You know the bad part about it? Jason Tatum couldn't make nothing from 3. Jaylen Brown couldn't make nothing from 2.
That's not for you to worry about right now.
Yeah, let me put that out there. I was pissed at both of them for reasons. One couldn't make nothing from 3, the other couldn't make nothing from 2.
Yeah, from 2, he was 4 for 7, right? Yeah.
Who?
Tatum from 2, 4 for 7.
Yeah, he was good from 2. He just kept launching 3s and it wouldn't go in.
Brown would be 8 for 19 from 2.
Like, I was pissed, bro. Both ways I was pissed.
Tatum shot 12 threes out of 19. Yo, Peyton Pritchard didn't hit a 3. That was crazy.
See, that's why I said this team is more reminiscent of the team that went to the finals against the Warriors. That's what this team is more like. And it irritates me that this is what I'm going to have to put up with. This is what this team is like.
Live by a 3, die by a 3, the Celtics way. Because there's a lot of missed 3s.
Oh, 6ers and 7.
I mean, it's looking that way. Even though
I still keep being negative because the more negative I am on the 76ers, the more likely we win. So we finna get our ass whooping this game.
Should have had freaking Embiid keep on taking 3s.
I just wish Jason Tatum's 19 shots was split up between everybody else instead.
I wish he wouldn't have put 12 3s.
Embiid was 12 for 23 and took another 3. I like that.
Mike could have gave some of Jaylen Brown 23 shots to other people too.
Quentin Grimes was 5 for 8. Shout out to Quentin Grimes. I made fun of him all series.
So they gave Quentin Grimes 18.
Shout out to that. Who else played well? VJ only had 10. We need better performance from him.
Yeah, man. Just
in this show, I ain't gonna glaze over the 76ers. In this show.
I appreciate y'all. Over on 99media.org. If you don't know, click his picture. It take you to, do you hear me? Click his picture, take you to
12 attempts at 3-point. Wow, that's crazy.
What about those 2 points though?
Who does he think he is? Who does he think he is?
Click
3-point shooter.
You can go to the affiliates page and it take you to this guy right here, whether it's Blur Cartel or What It Sound Like page. So go to either one of them, just click either one, it'll take you to him. If y'all don't know, again, one last time to show y'all, because it'd be simpler than us telling you. Over on 99media.org. You click that picture, you click his and affiliates, you click them two in the co-host page. You click mine as CEO or whatever, or at the bottom where it says Zelle Social. I appreciate y'all. Do that. Peace.